Alright guys, welcome back to the Lucky Pierres. Tonight we're reviewing a new movie. It's called Longlegs. Alright, Longlegs, what did you boys think?
I loved it.
I wanted to love it, but I did not.
I'm in the same boat. I wanted to love it. I had high expectations.
And I thought I would after the first 30, 40 minutes. I was extremely into it, and it started awesome. But then it fell apart, in my opinion, toward the end.
Why do you think that is?
I hated the way the plot went. I think they took a dumb direction, in my opinion. A lot of people obviously love it, though.
I would agree with that analysis or opinion. Yeah, I think it took a pretty, I don't know, it didn't pay off. There was a lot of...
I thought with the marketing...
There was a lot of opportunity and, like, you know, it could have been really, really good, but, like, yeah, the plot went a weird direction, and it didn't really pay off for me, personally.
I do agree with you guys that, like, it didn't take me out of it, but the doll thing, I do think it would have been much cooler if it was just a crazy guy killing kids.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought.
Like, they didn't need, the supernatural or the dolls, but it didn't take me out of it like it did you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It took me out of it a little bit. Like, I don't buy...
But also, I don't know why, but I was super, like, focused on the movie because I loved how it was shot and how, like, things that were in the background were the main focus of a ton of shots.
Yeah,
like, the background, and then it reminded me a lot of Cure, which we reviewed.
Oh, Cure's great.
And how the background noise was, like, super important and focused on more than it is normally.
Yeah,
of course,
like,
yeah.
And it reminded me of that, and so, like, I was kind of enthralled in the experience.
They
like,
used
I was
a lot
like,
of...
I just liked the whole experience.
I get that. They used a lot of the sets as, like, characters themselves and, like, as tools, you know what I mean? They use a lot of wide-angle lenses.
And then...
So you're always looking in the background, looking for shadows or people
well, and
or what have you.
I did love, like, that it made you anticipate almost every time it panned out, like, you expected, like, oh, something's going to pop up or something's going to be there. And nothing did, and it just kind of, like, you were like,
I like that,
and
too.
I liked it.
Yeah, it had so many positives.
It did.
But just the one biggest thing in it, the plot, just fell apart for me, and that killed it. I was so bummed that it happened.
And then I do feel like one of the things, like, if Talk to Me wouldn't have come out, like, less than a year ago or a year ago, Nicolas Cage smashing his face on that table would have been more shocking and more surprising and more impactful to a lot of people.
It was similar to that
because I know Sophia was not, like, shocked or whatever, but when we saw Talk to Me, it's almost the same type of thing, and that blew her mind and, like, sticks in her mind from that movie. If we wouldn't have seen that, I do think it would have been more impactful in this movie.
I think it's really different because the kid is super innocent.
Exactly. And it was a little more graphic.
It was.
And well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like if we hadn't seen that,
it would have been had more of an impact.
This would have been impactful for her.
Right.
Maybe a little more.
But a point of mine is, for horror to be super scary, I think there's got to be some believability. Mm-hmm. And it kind of fell apart for me when the dolls came into play with the black magic stuff.
The ball bearing.
Yeah, the stuff that he was putting inside of it. Like,
I kind of anticipated that, though. Like not based on the trailers or anything, but, like, how the movie was going, I felt like it was going to do something different. Like, because they didn't make it seem like he was killing people. Like, the whole time they're like, oh, there's no evidence. He wasn't even at the premises. Yeah. So I was like, there's going to be some weird thing tying him to it that isn't him actually killing anybody.
And that was kind of a letdown for me, because I don't think the whole accomplice thing for a serial killer or murderer is ever pays off. It's you always want, like, in my opinion,
takes away from it.
Yeah, you want the serial killer to be the one that's doing the killing. You feel more threatened and more scared of them. I didn't feel scared of him at all. I mean, sure, he was like...
Initially, when you first see him, it was such a cool encounter. I love that encounter. They didn't show his face, they just showed, like,
it was a jump scare.
That, plus, like, just the way he talked and acted was awesome.
It was great.
And then it was cool that... I'm sure some people will say they knew that was, like, Maika Monroe as a little girl. Like, in the beginning.
Yeah.
But, like... It was cool that, like, they led you to believe, like, that it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, you thought that was just one of the victims.
Right.
And then eventually find out that was her as a little girl.
It was a cool little reveal.
Which I do also get a lot of people maybe not liking the main character because she is so odd and like the way she speaks and delivers everything is peculiar.
Yeah,
and I
she
feel like
talks
that's
kind of
taking
strange, doesn't she?
Well, she's like autistic.
Yes.
She's supposed to be like half psychic.
She's like
autistic.
a savant.
Yeah.
In the beginning, like when she was like, "Oh, it's that house," and like there's no explanation. She just knew.
Yeah.
Like she was just like a weird savant.
She had some psychic powers, yeah.
She
Like
had,
half psychic.
And like social issues,
Yes.
talking to people.
Yes.
She was very awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, like I said, those black magic orbs with the hypnotic power, I just wasn't into it. Like when when her mom blew away the doll and then the black smoke came out of her, I'm like, eh.
Yeah, stuff like that would just kind of bug me, but yeah, I agree.
I see the thing, people are praising Nick Cage for like his performance and stuff. He was creepy to a degree, but like he took it to a level, like that Nick Cagey level. And don't get me wrong, I love Nick Cage and some stuff. I think he's a great actor. But I think how he handled the role hurt the film, in my opinion. I don't think he should.
I don't think so.
I don't think he should have took it to that Nick Cagey level.
I think that's literally why he got the job.
Of ridiculousness.
I think a little bit though it hurt because it was Nick Cage, and people have seen him do that a lot of times. And if you know Nick Cage, which a lot of people unfortunately do, how he acts and stuff, you're like, it just kind of looks like Nick Cage when he's freaking out like that.
Right. It's hard to get past the fact that that's Nick Cage.
That's why I love the first initial encounter so much, because you didn't see his face and he didn't go like full Nick Cage and he just sounded creepy.
Yeah. It's just it was kind of ridiculous.
But I also thought he was great, so I'm in between on that.
I think he should have toned it down a little bit. That's just my opinion. I mean, a lot of people would probably disagree with me on that, but
I thought he was really good, but also knowing it's Nick Cage took me out of it a little bit.
Right. And I liked some of the cool. I mean, the cinematography was great. You can't deny that. Like I said, it used a lot of wide angle lenses. Like the set designs were cool. Like her house, you're looking in the background. And
everything.
The windows and like
everything, man, was great.
Yeah,
that's why it's so frustrating that did that. The plot for me
was cool. Also, the format changed. Like when they did like the flashbacks, it was like what 4:3 aspect or whatever. And then when they went to
like in
present day, it was like, and then it like stretched. That was pretty cool. Like that's a cool little.
It's kind of like like It Follows when they show the background and you're looking for, you're always like scanning. It was like that in a lot of ways. Where like when she's at that computer and it just her doorway's in the background, and you're like, what's gonna happen here?
You're always looking in the background on the edge of your seat, kind of like.
And in the barn,
in suspense.
Go out of the barn, there's nothing there.
Oh yeah.
And you're just waiting for something.
Yes,
cool
in the doorway.
Like that,
in the doorway, yeah. They leave you suspended a lot. But the thing is, like I said, it doesn't pay off in my opinion. It's too much suspension and not enough, I guess, payoff.
And for me, a lot of that comes from the marketing, unintentionally, because like they said it's the scariest movie in the last decade.
Yeah.
And immediately once you say that, you're kind of like expecting.
Your expectations are up here.
And it's not, I guess, not fair to the movie, but they did it themselves, kind of almost too. So
they did.
Well, I mean, I had high expectations, and it was. I loved it. It was fine for me. Like
a lot of people love it.
I say it could have been better with some changes, but I didn't think it hurt it enough. Like I loved it, and I thought it was a great experience at the theater.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And like it did remind me a lot of Cure, which was an awesome movie.
Cure's great.
And like I like her and I like Cage, so I was a little bit biased going in.
Yeah, I do too. I think they're both great.
I just didn't feel like, I don't know, at the beginning, like you said, that prologue scene when you were first introduced to him, I felt creeped out.
That was perfect.
I felt creeped out. It was very jump scare, and like you don't fully see him, and then when he's fully revealed, and then he starts acting that certain way, I just thought it was just kind of like, don't do it that way. Do it a different way, or it should have been a different.
I mean, a lot of people feel very different. They feel he did so good. He deserves an Oscar. It was great.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree.
But
with
I
that.
mean,
you don't have to.
That's why he got the job. Like they didn't hire him to not be Nicolas Cage.
I understand that. I understand. I mean, it helped in I guess if you were to, let's say he's at like a level 10, I think he should have took it down to like a level 7 or 8. Like it just more subtle. I think it felt out of place in my opinion. His performance. And I'm a big Nick Cage fan. You know this. I love Nick Cage. I just felt it hurt the movie. But I don't know. It was enjoyable for a lot of different reasons, and then I had my gripes with it, like a lot of movies, you know?
I watched the breakdown earlier. They brought up something I never even thought of. It said, he says cuckoo
Yeah.
He says that in the beginning.
Yeah.
I guess like cuckoo birds apparently would kick other birds out of their own nest.
Yeah.
And take over the nest.
Yep.
Oh, he did that with his mom.
I thought like
that was
that's
her mom.
insane if they meant to do that he would say that and do that. It's an awesome tie-in.
That is cool.
That's the only review I've seen say that.
That is very cool.
I saw a video today of the director saying like he pitched the idea to like everybody, like what about if her mom kept like all of her teeth and hair and nails, and like the the prop department were like, yeah, great idea. And then unbeknownst to the director, they like told their family members like, hey, don't clip your nails while we're filming and like let your hair grow out. And they literally, all the prop department cut their family members' nails and their hair, and like that the box where she pulls the teeth out of was full of all of those real nails and hair.
Oh, was it?
And then the teeth were fake. But everything else was like from the prop department and their family members in that box of keepsakes.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
He said somebody was like, hey, like we need to trim that part out of the movie. And he goes, over my dead body. He's like, literally over my dead body. Like they put work into that, and like it's a cool part that like fits into the movie. We're not taking that scene out of the movie.
Yeah.
And then I feel like they had to have edited it, because with all that work put in, they definitely would have wanted us to see more than just her like shake a little baggie of teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it got trimmed, but that's a cool thing.
That'd be crazy if she brought like a tackle box of hair. Yeah. And like, hey, there's Susan's teeth.
Right.
Just hair dolls.
That is pretty much what the movie did, though. Was a lot less show and more interpret it yourself. Besides near the end when they explained it all, basically. But yeah, it was a kind of a letdown for me. I think my expectations were too high, but
it was one of like when I saw it, I said it was my top 3 anticipated movies of that like couple of week period was Kinds of Kindness, Longlegs, and Kill.
Yeah.
And Longlegs was the biggest one to me, like the one that did the best to me compared to my expectations. Kinds of Kindness I had to see twice, and I did like it more the second time. Kill is super sick, but it's just like a raid movie on a train. Like
I'm in. I'd love that.
Well, I'll talk later.
Yeah. What did you guys think about the ending?
Honestly, I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it went fine with the rest of the plot. It finished up fine.
It was.
I was already kind of
checked out.
Just annoyed at the way it went.
But it was.
They do is
right. Do you think that like he lives on in her because
that's what they were going for?
She had to kill her mom.
Well, I think he said I'll be everywhere. So I think like
didn't die or whatever.
Yeah, like,
the devil will live on. And
she needs to come back. She needs to get a bullet out of her vehicle, come back, and put a bullet in that thing's head.
The kill wasn't like
end that cycle.
Fulfilled that.
Part. So either she's gonna kill that girl and kill herself, or something like that. That's what's implied or whatever. But
did it bother either you when she just let her like partner kill his wife, even though he admitted I'm gonna go kill her in the kitchen? She's like, all right.
I think she was so in shock that she just couldn't do anything.
She did something as soon as he walked back.
Well, because she had to. You know what I mean? Like I think
she was just focused on the little girl.
Yeah, I guess.
She just seen her mom blow her like partner's head off, and like there was that, and then I think she just focused on the girl. I think there was just nothing she could have done.
Also, kind of bothered me there was no reason for the name Longlegs. It did.
I wore my Longlegs today.
It was great. I love what I'm saying. I wish they would have just had like some reason,
dude.
Yeah. Because they asked the writers, and they said just because it looked good on the screen. Wow. That was the reason.
Do have to bring up though, it looked like he was living his best life in that fucking basement cubbyhole.
He was killing it.
The fucking red lighting. He had a fucking guitar and amps down there. Like he's just fucking shredding. He had like Lou Reed posters hanging out.
Couch bed he was chilling on.
Yeah, he was just living the dream, dude. Building dolls, shredding riffs, killing it.
And causing mass murder.
Yeah, like worshiping Satan.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Longlegs too. Building dolls, shredding riffs.
I feel like people are so desensitized by like movies and stuff because people don't realize like how easy it is like for somebody to die.
Yes.
Because like when he smashed his face off that table afterwards, Sophia was like, how would that even kill you? And I was like, he literally hit his face off that table and looked up, and his like nose and face were like hanging off. Like, if you don't think that's enough damage to like for somebody to die,
I don't know if you'd be able to do that.
I'm with Sophia on that. Yeah. I don't know if
from that
I don't know
range,
physically you could be able
like
to do
3
that
smashes,
so
you're dead. It's kind of
no, that's what I mean. I don't think he didn't die immediately is a thing. Like, there's no way he died immediately. But
that's
like,
what they made it seem. You just
I know, I know what you're saying, but you know what I mean. Like, if you don't think that's enough damage for somebody to die like shortly thereafter,
then
that's crazy.
No.
But yeah, well, the thing is, most people can't fucking do that damage to themselves. Like, even if you try to hurt yourself that bad, it doesn't work.
Yeah, you'd have to be possessed.
Yeah, he was just on a goal, man.
But like, he hit his face off the end of that table, and his face was hanging off.
It was.
Like, he was fucked.
I don't know if blood would spray like that either, but it looks cool. Whatever.
Yeah, it looked cool.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else you guys want to add? Or you want to just get to our scores?
Sure.
I gave it a 6.5.
I gave it a 6 because it was so tough because there's so much good stuff in it.
Yeah.
And I think I like graded it even harder. I feel like because it had everything, but then ruined it, in my opinion. So I was more upset. I was more frustrated.
I gave it a 9 because none of that took me out of it. Like, I agree, some of it could have been different and it would have been better, but I thought, like, as a whole, I loved the movie. And like
That's great.
The feel of it, the aesthetic, the sound, I loved the sound.
Everything.
And I had
The sound
somebody
was great.
complain, like, because they were like, was it supposed to sound like that? It sounded so flat to me. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck you were watching.
Yeah.
Because
The sound was
design
really
was a
good.
huge part of the movie.
It was really good.
Pretty much everything except for the plot for me was like spot on.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's our. What do you guys think? Final recommendations: watch it ASAP, watch it whenever, or skip it.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to say watch it ASAP, but
I'm going to say
you
whenever.
say whenever.
Yeah.
Say whenever.
Yeah, whenever. If you're a die-hard horror fan, watch it ASAP. But this one, we're going to say watch it whenever. So
honestly, I feel like more if you're like into psychological thrillers more so than horror, because if you're super into horror and you expect it to be like
in your
a
face,
very scary horror movie, it's not. It's more or less so of like a creepy vibe the whole time, like an uneasiness, but it's not really like scream, cry, scary.
Silence of the Lambsy.
Now, see, that's what hurt it for me, was the comparisons to Silence of the Lambs. And then I was like, it's not like Silence of the Lambs, though.
It's got more, I would say, horror.
It has
than
like
Silence of the Lambs.
like definitely similarities. There's stuff they
yeah.
use from it.
Well, yeah, I mean the
But
whole.
you can't compare it to that because that's such a high bar.
I mean the main
it would
plot.
hurt it going in.
Basically, just a woman FBI agent trying to catch a serial killer.
Yeah, I feel like there's no way they wouldn't say it was like Silence of the Lambs, basically because of that, like male protagonist or antagonist, female FBI.
But they did that before
protagonist.
anyone went to see it with like the marketing and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're just like, don't do that, because then it's like when they
Expectations
compare
are
any
through
movies
the
to
roof.
something crazy good.
Yeah.
I loved the marketing. Partially because
really good, well done.
at first, for the longest time, you didn't find out anything. Like, even if you were in the movies and saw the trailers, it didn't tell you anything about the movie.
Yeah.
It would like show a glimpse of her and then the crazy characters on the screen, and like that was it, and then like scary music.
Yeah.
And then it was the first movie in forever where the more I saw from the trailers, it didn't make me less excited about the movie. Like,
That's
each
good.
trailer built more anticipation.
I'm glad you enjoyed
And then
it.
like
yeah.
the
I
billboard
enjoyed it a little bit.
and the website. And
That's true, the marketing was
did
perfect.
you guys know on Letterboxd, the people that had seen it early or like before it technically came out, an account on Letterboxd was responding to the reviews of it in like the Longlegs
Oh,
language.
wow.
And
The
like
code.
that was all part of it. Yeah. So
Wow.
like
It is cool, yeah.
There's
That's
so many cool things.
Like I said, it had everything was perfect except for the.
Great marketing. Like Smile had great marketing. So it was kind of like that in a sense. Just
It was like.
Have you guys seen the trailer for Smile 2?
yeah.
Do you care at all?
I do.
Not
I
really.
think
It looks
good.
decent.
I think it looks good.
Yeah.
I like Smile 1 though.
But all right, guys, that's our review for Longlegs. Yeah, go check that one out if you want. Shaw loved it. Yeah, and a lot of people loved it. It seems to be getting great reviews.
Yeah.
And it is good.
That's good for horror.
It is good. It's not. I mean, it just didn't hit on all the notes for me, but it is good. But thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.